As a kid, whenever I used to be dropped to school, Dad would make me sit right on the fuel tank, and back then he used to ride a Jawa. So Java has been a very emotional kind of a brand to me since I was a kid. Getting on top of the bike used to be difficult, and that's when I thought, like when I grow up, I'm going to make some modification to it so I can get onto the vehicle easy. The idea of building a bobber, something that was really retro, came once we decided we would build something for the gentleman's ride. And the gentleman's ride, as everyone knows, is a ride where people get dressed in formals, so it's like a draped ride kind of a thing, and we wanted to have something that would go with the same theme and feel. We wanted to have something that really stood out, looked good, and would be also something that we could pull off with formals and would look like a part of the entire ride. I wanted to build something that was not too common, but something that had the feel from the brand itself. Not building something that was really out of the box, or rather out of the entire bloodline of the Jawas. There was no guidelines, there were no set rules, and since it was an in-house build, we didn't have any preference or specifications as to how it needs to be built. So we had the liberty of going with the entire design in whichever direction we could. There's not one part that was just put there to look good. There's a lot of inspiration that's been the guideline for the entire build. We took a donor tank, split it into three pieces from each side, and what that gave us was the bobber peanut shaped tank with the embossed, which is one of the very cherished features for any Jawa restoration. Having a look at the rear end, you would see that there's a stiff back suspension. However, it's got linkages which come to the front part of it, and here right in front of the engine you would see a set of 4 shock absorbers, and they work with the entire linkage that's connected to the rear. So it's something of a hybrid kind of a chassis there. The entire design came from the mind and the heart. Darkside Customs started in 2007. It started off with only airbrushing initially, because there were not a lot of airbrush artists back then, and I always loved painting and doing something creative since I was a kid, and that's how it started. I had a set amount of money to run the business, so not a lot of people knew what airbrushing was. I ended up doing about 6 to 7 vehicles at that point in time, and the managing the store and doing the vehicles started getting really difficult. So I had to shut it down in about 9 to 10 months, and I had to get back to doing my 9 to 5 job. and in 2012 it started with Darkside Ink, and that was only a tattoo studio. So we started with that. However, I started doing airbrushing also along with the tattooing that I was doing at that point in time. And then I realized within about 6 or 7 months, since Harley Davidson had come into the country, there was a lot of demand for airbrushing, there's a lot of demand for custom bikes, and then we decided to start Darkside Customs again. All the creative aspects that I've had have been called Darkside Ink, Darkside Customs. Now, the reason why I keep calling them Darkside is because I believe everyone is talented, everyone's got skills, but due to our responsibilities, due to our commitments, we are not able to fulfill the dream that we have. And all our dreams are pushed into the dark side. So that's what Darkside is all about.